Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back here to today's edition of Intuitive Angling, and really appreciate you guys coming by the channel, spending some time with me today. Always very thankful for that. And guys, today I got a message for the Flatbrim, live scoping, Weenie, Wormin, forward-facing sonar, minnow using generation anglers out there. I got something I want to pass along to you guys. You might be interested in hearing, so we're going to get into that in today's video. Also guys, quick reminder, today is the last day of the April sale on my Solar Bat Series RB2 and RB3 series sunglasses. If you get a pair by today, you can get them at 30% off. I'll put the Solar Bat link in the description if you guys want to order some straight through that link. And I'd suggest get you a pair of that High-Con yellow and a pair of the Mossback green for low light conditions and bright conditions both. So much appreciated there. Okay guys, here's what I want to talk about. This particular thing, I want to share something with this generation of anglers, because I have a lot in common with you guys, even though you don't realize it. Because I remember what it was like to be young and full of the vigor of life and new to bass fishing and all gung-ho. Guys, and I understand the whole flat brim. And when I say flat brim, I'm not trying to make fun of you, because I understand that styles change, and I was a forerunner in that. Guys, back in the late 80s and early 90s, I had long hair. I had a ponytail at the tournaments. I wore sandals. I had an ankle bracelet. I posed nude in a magazine. I was a freaking rebel too. I get it, what it's like to be young and to go against the grain, because I was looked at as an oddball too back then when I was younger, because I went against the grain of everything. So from that standpoint, I understand the need to express people differently. But what I want to share with you guys is the one thing that I did not differ away from was my respect and my admiration and my passion for maintaining the tradition and the heritage and respecting the sport and paying my dues in terms of learning how to become a bass fisherman the right way. And so the whole point of this, guys, is I want to encourage you in this video to resist going down that dark path of technology, forward-facing sonar technology. Just hear me out here. You guys, I know you guys out there saying, oh, God dang, Randy, just another forward-facing sonar video. Just listen to this, because you might learn something from it. Let me explain it to you from the perspective that I'm coming from on it. Now, here's the thing about bass fishing. It's out there. We have, unfortunately, over the past 5 or 10 years, our sport has morphed into something that is very destructive to the sport for the long-term sustainability, and it's taken away from so much of the sport, because we've created a generation that I described in the thumbnail, the braid to fluorocarbon, flat brimmer, live scoping crowd out there, that is so detached from the reality of what bass fishing really is they don't even know what they're missing. So here's what I want. Here's my message to you guys. If you guys are the flat brimmers out there, the live scopers, this is what I want you to consider a little bit. One of the things about bass fishing, and tournament bass fishing especially, is you have got to respect tradition. You've got to respect heritage. If you don't do that, you don't have any business in the sport, because every single sport out there has maintained the respect from the generations that came before them, and sort of keep it in line with that. And part of the evolution of a bass angler as a tournament angler is it's a lifelong pursuit of understanding the mood and the personality and the behavior and the seasonal movements of bass. This is something that takes a long time. It's not a quick fix. It's something that takes decades and decades and decades. But if you approach bass fishing from a more purist point of view, without the aid of a video game telling you where to cast at, which is an absolute insult to the fish, if you go out there and hone your skill, and say, for example, you and I went out there, and I say I've got a flat brimmer in the boat with me, 20-year-old flat brimmer that does nothing but live scope. I'm going to take you out there, and I'm going to show you. We're going to get out on the lake. We're going to go back up in a creek arm or something in the lake. We're going to have no electronics on. We're going to have just a trolling motor, simple bass fishing tackle. And I'm going to explain to you how to find bass from a primitive, primal, instinctual, intuitive approach, which it's meant to be. And in doing so, it's like we will get out there, and you will understand, and you will absorb every facet that is coming into you, every bit of information that's coming to you. It could be a weather condition, it could be different water changes in the water clarity, it could be something with the current, it could be something to do with the different sunlight intensity that particular day in correlation with the water temperatures. There's literally an endless amount of variables, and based upon what we are seeing that particular day, I'm going to explain to you, it's like these fish are going to be sitting right here and positioned right here because of this, because of A, B, or C. And how I know that is from fishing. I figured this out from fishing. I didn't figure this out from looking at a video screen saying there's a bass moving, cast over there. When you hone your skills and you figure these things out, the slow process, the legitimate process of actually fishing and deciphering how the fish are hitting, understanding how the fish are positioned based upon where you find them hooked out in the mouth, how they attack your bait. Once you do that, you become grounded as an angler and you become strong. You become strong. Every aspect of your being becomes strong. If you're a live scoper, you're a weak angler. It's sort of like the gym. It's like the strongest dudes in the gym are the guys out there that one day they work back, one day they work arm, one day they work legs. You know, they don't just get out there, you know, and do curls and do a bench press and have little stick legs and big arms out there. It's the same with bass fishing. In order to become a well-rounded angler and get the most of what the sport has to offer, you have got to resist that technology, because that technology and the easy access to information and the easy access to success it provides sometimes is not serving you at all. It's not strengthening you internally as an angler. There's nothing gratifying about it. One thing you will find out as a tournament angler, I can tell you this right off the bat, guys, because if you guys have been in it, you know, you hadn't been in it as long as I have. I've been doing it since 1979. Dang, playing helicopter comes over every time we do a video anymore. But anyway, once you incorporate that, once you approach fishing from that pure basic level where you understand the fish movement and in relationship to nature, then you've absorbed and you've taken everything that the sport has into your experience out there. It becomes so much more rewarding, so much more gratifying, and all of the experiences that I've had in fishing over the years out there, every single one of them have came when my fishing was the most simple. Throwing a spinnerbait down the side of a laid-on log, flipping a jig into a flooded bush, not knowing if those fish are out there. I've had a lot of success fishing off the bank. I've won tournaments deep cranking. Not near as fun. Those events don't stick out with me, but the events out there that you're in close quarter combat with the fish, you figured out how those fish are positioned, you figured out what they want, you figured out the color, the retrieve, the cadence, everything with it, that is when fishing becomes rewarding. And if you're one of those anglers that have gone all in on this technology, balls to the wall with it, you're doing nothing but hurting yourself. You're not only hurting yourself, you're hurting the sport, the long-term sustainability of the sport, the entire thing about taking the mystery and magic and the value, the intrinsic value out of the sport. You're diminishing the very sport that you love by getting sucked into that. So the point that what I want to get across to you younger guys out there, and even some of you older guys that are flat brimmers, is don't go down the dark path. Forward-facing sonar technology is the dark path in bass fishing. Make no mistake about it, because anytime that you have something that removes you from the very act of fishing to find fish, it becomes a commercial venture. It's no longer a sport. In essence, that's what tournament fishing has become. I remember I just got my Bass Times magazine, and I was looking through there, the top 5 anglers at Toledo Bend. They had all 5 anglers listed up, and the lure they caught them on, every single one of them, forward-facing sonar minnow. If it wasn't for my forward-facing sonar, I wouldn't have won this tournament. You know, every fish I saw on the forward-facing sonar. If that's one of you guys out there, you should be embarrassed. I'm embarrassed for you that you've actually sunk to that level, and we don't have to do it. It's like we as a fisherman have a voice as far as the tournament community out there, and if we all would stand up and have a backbone and say to these tournament organizations, we don't want this, we're not going to fish the tournaments unless we get rid of it, we wouldn't have to worry about it. And I can promise you, if you're a 20-year-old flat brimmer who's addicted to live scope and has learned on live scope, if you completely remove that from your fishing and go back to the old, the old, when I'm saying old ways, I don't mean like the old ways of throwing a hula popper. I'm talking about the ways of actually fishing to find fish and deciphering the technique based upon the fish movement and mood and personality. If you go back to that, your entire energy level and your being is going to be benefited so much you just can't even imagine. You're not missing out on anything by getting rid of forward-facing sonar. It's only making you weak. It's making you, disrespectful to the sport. It's making you not appreciate what everything that was, here before us. And like I said, it's not your guys' fault. It's the fault of the electronic companies and the tournament organizations for pushing this. It's the same thing. It's almost like the tobacco companies, pushing the tobacco on people and doctors saying, like they used to say back in the 1930s, that smoking was good for you. It's sort of the same thing with the electronic companies and the tournament organizations that are in cahoots, hand to hand, enabling each other, and at the same time deceiving the bass anglers into something they think they should be doing that they really don't need to be doing. So, point of the matter, guys, be yourself. If you guys want to wear a flat brim hat and wear a poodle butt, fluffy hair on the front like a lot of them have now, just go for it. That's not the problem. But the problem is be a real bass fisherman. Do it right. Stop becoming the cliche of a video gamer, that's what it is, because it's not fishing. You're not fishing to find fish. You're turning on an artificial umbilical cord to show you where to fish at. And if you're one of those anglers out there that can't function without forward-facing sonar or electronic technology, like I said, I'm embarrassed for you. You should be embarrassed for yourself. Don't do it. Become a strong angler. Become an angler that's grounded and comfortable within their abilities and their skill levels to locate bass the real way, the traditional way, bass fishing, the way it's meant to be. I mean, there's a lot of sports that we could go out there, guys, and cheat and do good in. You could cheat in baseball, football, soccer, whatever, and make no mistake about it, forward-facing sonar is nothing but legalized cheating. That's what it is. Ask any person out there that doesn't fish, that's never fished before, describe to them what forward-facing sonar does. You know what they're all going to say? Well, that sounds like cheating. That doesn't sound fair. Because it is. It's legalized cheating, nothing more. So anyway, guys, do the right thing. Stand up, be a man, get rid of your forward-facing sonar, start fishing the way bass fishing is meant to be, and your experience is going to be so much better in the long run. Also, the sport's going to be better off. So hope you guys are well. Talk later.